Hello everyone, welcome back to Europa Universalis for AI only extended timeline mod. And I just said goodnight. In the last episode, of course. If it's not night, I meant good day. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Or to the 5% of ladies that may or may not be here. We are continuing. It is 12th November 2086. And we are continuing on the saga of the world. Okay, maybe it's not that much pomp and fanfare, but I digress. So China just took one province from the Soviet Union, Saudi Arabia grew once more, all that American funding seems to be working out well for them, have an alliance with the Egyptians. You know what? ISIS should have just integrated with Saudi Arabia. Then this wouldn't be a problem. Then they'd have their caliphate to a degree. They're almost as extreme as ISIS anyway. But they're US allies, so we don't talk about that. Yes, I do apologize, all Saudis who may be watching this video, though I doubt it. I do doubt it. But you must admit that your government's a bit oppressive, to say the least. Of course, I do live in quite a freedom-loving country, let's just say, so we won't worry about that. Anyway, I digress again. Sorry, I get off on weird talking points sometimes. Iran, of course, is a theocracy, an Islamic republic. Supreme leader, Ahmed I Kamal. Oh, it must be the Hermit Kingdom all over again. Okay. Second Ghanaian Burkinabe nationalist war and Bolivian reconquest of Sucre. So, Bolivia, you are on war with Paraguay and Chile, who's over there, and Peru owns Arica. Good for Peru. Peru is pretty rich. Bolivia is pretty poor. Oh well. Bolivia will get there in one day. So Ghana at war with Burkina Faso. Ooh. Joy. So we have Togo and Ghana up against Burkina Faso. That's quite an alliance network, Ghana. You've essentially protected yourself from all sides. Shame Nigeria is in the region. Oh well. Equatorial Guinea is quite large. They own 2 provinces of Gabon, and of course Nigeria has expanded. The Democratic Republic of Congo should not exist at this point in the game. They are extremely poor, yet somehow they have managed to exist. And it's quite irritating, to be honest, because they've essentially just gotten return calls and that's it. But oh well, I mean, what you gonna do? Not much in this situation, unfortunately. So, we have South Africa. What's down here? They're not... At one point, there's gonna be the question where you ask, when does South Africa become Africa? Because eventually it's just going to go so far up, it will become Central Southern Africa, or... yeah, there'll be Northern Southern Africa, which is... It exists already, because anything that has 4 points on a compass, or is it 3, but just land, 2D even, it still has a north, a south, an east, and a west. Depending how far down you can map it, of course. It still does have a north, a south, an east, and a west orientation. I don't know why I'm getting on that talking point. Apologies. The Brazilian-Colombian Nationalist War and the Malian reconquest of Messina. So let's check out the results of this war. Burkina Faso is no longer. Ghana has expanded. Sucre and Tarija have gone to Bolivia. Excuse me. So we have Brazil at war with Peru and Colombia. Mexico's not involved, unfortunately. Have not joined yet, and we have Mali at war with Niger and Kong. Okay, that's going to be a very one-sided war. We'll have a look at the results in a few moments, but let's go have a look at Brazil, because I do believe they are defending. They are attacking. Maybe not the most intelligent idea. You see, if they were defending, why haven't they just gone after Argentina, is my question. Or even Venezuela, who have no allies. Could have gone after Venezuela, gotten some very nice land, or gone down to Argentina, even just taken Uruguay. But they could have expanded quite well, but instead they've gone on a suicidal attack, and they're going to diminish their status as a superpower, or even just a regional power. They're going to become a non-power, and a non-factor. Of course, they could, by all means, they could shed a lot of the Amazon, or the Amazonas, and they've already shed Acre, but Roraima, which is the Rio Branco, Mato Grosso, even Tocantins is here. I'm blanking. Bit of Para is there too, but they could shed that, and they do still fine. They'd still do fine. But yeah, and now they're essentially just going on a suicidal fight up against a far superior force. And they may, in fact, they may lose something of value, like Muturu. Anyway, let's go have a check over here. Looks like Kong has disappeared, and Niger has lost land. Nigeria incorporating Niger. Good. Go be your Ndora. Niger, if they conquered Cameroon, which they probably can't because Chad is allied to... No, they're not. Who's Chad allied to? Egypt. I getcha. About Central African Republic. Yeah, they have good allies. Oh, one good ally. But Nigeria quite well developed, actually. Which is, of course, they have certain regions where the development is much higher than everywhere else. But this is surprising that a former Cameroonian province is quite developed, Iwondo, but of course you have the region where you see the development just fade out, and you can still see it in the north too, though it's not as pronounced. And they have Borno. Looks like they are at war with Chad. Looks like they've taken my advice. No, they haven't. They are attacking Democratic Republic of Congo as a belligerent. Okay, rightio. Oh, wow. Okay, this is a big war. So we have Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Botswana, and South Africa up against Zambia, Uganda, Ethiopia, Central African Republic, and Nigeria. Ooh-wee. And we also have a Vietnamese-Laotian imperialist war. Let's go have a look at this, because this is going to be quite quick and brutal, I'm assuming. Laos and Thailand up against Indonesia and Vietnam. Ooh-wee. This is going to be a no-contest war. Or perhaps some contest. I mean... yeah, okay, we'll check back on that. Anyway, let's check over here. Cameroon is involved. No, it's not. That's just Uganda's colour. Okay, so Nigeria is probably going to focus on taking out Chad early, and then getting involved down here. I should really turn off Steam notifications. I have forgotten to do that in this recording session. We are at 2090 though. Quite interestingly. So what do we have going on here? We have the Chadians defending northern Chad. We have Ethiopia not actually combating, but they do occupy the Upper Nile. The Somalians aren't really attacking into Ethiopia, even though they could. Uganda trying to wrest control of the entirety of Lake Victoria. However, they will now lose a battle to overwhelming numbers. Ethiopia just sitting in Kakongo. They are moving in though, and the DRC's capital is occupied in Pemba. Central Africa is not occupied at all. Chad still going strong. Looks like the Nigerians do want to wipe out their army though. Nigeria would do well, to occupy that region. Zambia is getting absolutely torn apart, which I mean, when you pit one of the strongest African powers against what is decidedly a regional power, of course, you're going to end up with that kind of discrepancy there. But they are holding their own. The central of the country, so even Zambia proper is being occupied, but they can live, they can survive. Anyway, Uganda being ravaged in the north. Ethiopia finally being occupied a bit. Looks like Egypt is involved to some degree. Oh yes, the Southeast Asian War. Thailand reduced to 2 provinces, Myanmar to 2 provinces, and 1 province for Laos. Wow, Vietnam dominating the scene there, and Indonesia right behind them. Now these two are allies, unfortunately. If Indonesia had been able to fully occupy that region, we may have seen a different story going up against China. And India, of course, has been crippled, but they are still fighting. They would do well to full annex Nepal, but don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, if at all. And let's head back across here. Actually, let's go over here. So the entirety of the Amazonas and a bit more of other regions. Guyana has been annexed, and it looks like the Peruvians and the Colombians are expanding into some nice forest. A lot of war there, going to destroy biodiversity and probably a lot of species. So Somalia, yes, is pushing into Ethiopia, going to take them out of the war. Egypt is involved, okay. So they're on the side of South Africa, Somalia. So they're against Nigeria. Whoo-wee. So essentially what we have here is 1 regional power, 2 superpowers, up against 1 African superpower and 1 regional. Yeah, no way. This is going to end up in a crushing defeat for Nigeria. It's a good thing they are a co-belligerent, though. Otherwise, it would be a lot worse. Hopefully, Ethiopia gets taken out here. I am rooting for the Zambian-Nigerian coalition to remain strong. However, I do not have my hopes up. South Africa may gain what was formerly Zimbabwe out of this, though, or the rest of Zimbabwe, and perhaps all of Namibia once more. But Botswana will probably aim to take some of that, even though they're very poorly developed. And of course, Zambia will likely still own Zambia proper, bits of Mozambique, and most of the Angolan region too after this war, so there's not too much to fear. Tanzania is at war with Swaziland. That's going to end quite badly for Swaziland. No, not for Swaziland, for Tanzania. And we have the Spanish-Malian Imperialist War. Another war that Nigeria is involved in. Most of West Africa, apart from Senegal and Sierra Leone and Mossi, are involved here. It's a matter of where the Nigerians want to delegate their resources. It doesn't look like they have the chance to put them far. Ethiopia has been reduced once more, losing Ankoba, RC, and Wileta. Not much, to be honest. They did not lose Demot there either. So Djibouti still exists as Tadjoura and Ulsa, and of course we have Egypt pushing down here. The DRC does have a bit of occupation, nothing for them to sweat though, because they don't have their capital occupied. Uganda probably made some seriously poor calculations here, because essentially we now have the entirety of Africa at war. I think there's only, it'd probably be 3 states or something that do not have a war going on. Like, we have almost the entirety of West Africa and most of the rest of Africa, Tunisia and Morocco being clear exceptions. And of course, the Spanish are still proving that even with a lack of Andalusia, they can still fight, and the British have stationed 72,000 troops in Cadiz. Notoriously no marshy region for the most part, which is quite interesting. This war is finally over. It doesn't look like the Brazilians didn't lose much but their pride. Colombia, however, taking Atabapo, Apure and Zaraza, and Upper Amazon and Barcelos going to Peru. Or in Guapo. Oh, that was earlier. So, Brazil not losing much, but losing enough to seriously injure them in the short term. Now, I'm surprised they haven't. Oh, Great Britain. They did not have that alliance earlier. So Venezuela still. You could declare war on Venezuela here, and then you drag Argentina in, get the war going. But Brazilian AI seems to be incapable of that. The Swazi and Tanzanian war is over, with Swaziland expanding quite nicely. Anyway, that's it for now. Seems we have more rebels in the Soviet Union. What do you know, Soviet revolutionaries. How ironic. Anyway, see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed. Been trying to do the episodes a bit, but we're going to have breaks in the episodes because I haven't been timing, which I should probably do. Anyway, till next time, all have a good time, and hope you're safe, and all that good stuff. Anyway, goodbye.